Hey guys, Cody with Evolution Personal Training. We are here in the kitchen just one more time. I'm getting the office set up so that we can have you some really informative, some really visually exciting and interesting videos, and we'll be seeing that actually after the Thursday video, so starting this coming Saturday. But today I want to cover a very specific topic, something that a lot of my clients have brought up here recently, that of health. What actually is health? What is it an indicator of? And how can we use an understanding of health to further our own goals, in this case, getting healthier or more fit? Well, I think to define health, we need to define what health is an aspect of and figure out where to move from there. So let's say that health is an indicator of life. And let's say that life is the tendency of a system to not be moving towards entropy, which means that if left to its own devices, something that is alive is not going to fall apart, break down, or in some way dissipate. So let's apply that idea, the presence or absence of entropy as a defining feature towards our health. And let's say this. Let's say that health is the tendency of your organs, your organ systems, and the interplay between those organ systems to move with the least efficiency, so to have the smallest or least tendency towards entropy, which means that they won't break down given time if left to their own devices. So I think that's a good place to start. Now let's look at this in a broader in a broader light here. If we say that I'm being healthy, does that mean that you're moving towards a specific goal, or does that mean you're just inhibiting entropy of your systems? I'm going to say for most of you, you tend to classify when you say, Cody, I did something healthy, or at least I made a healthier decision, you mean it more in that at least you're not backtracking. I would actually disagree with that, because as our systems progress, because keep in mind, I said least tendency to entropy, not zero tendency to entropy. And there's several article series that talk about the tendency of the body to break down, science beyond me and science beyond my ability to describe in a short little video. But if you're making decisions that you would have to classify to yourself and to me as your trainer as healthy, I'm going to say they were in fact not. Because for me, health and fitness are two very disparate topics. Health is just your tendency to not be dying right now. Fitness is your ability to get to a task, or to accomplish a task. And for me and for you, our fitness, our task, is to actually improve our physique, is to improve our daily function, is to improve how we feel in a given day. So if you're making choices that you would have to defend and say, well, at least it was a healthier option. You know, I did blueberries instead of sugar. Maybe that's healthier, maybe it's not. I'm not convinced that there's not going to be there's not going to be an increase in the strain on your system from the blueberries than the sugar, and there's some things we'll talk about on that idea at a later time. Or you said, hey, I'll have these Cheez-Its here instead of this Coney Island hot dog thing from Sonic. Those ideas might be healthier in the aggregate of all possible ideas, but whenever looked at from a tendency of stopping your entropy, or from keeping your body from breaking down, or from the very task-specific idea of fitness moving towards your goal, either way, you're actually being a little disingenuous if you use the phrase that was healthier. And I'm sorry, that was kind of a long run-on sentence. I lost the plot just a little bit, so let's jump back on point here. We're defining life as a tendency of a system to not move to entropy. So it's not breaking down, or it's breaking down very slowly over time. We're going to define health as the state of your organs, your organ systems, and the interplay of all of those as being least inefficient, or least tending towards entropy. And we're defining fitness as your ability to do something. I want you to move past entirely the concept of health, because if you're being fit, in our definition of fit, our ability to do a task, we want our systems to work very, very well so that we look and that we feel better. And typically speaking, if you look and feel pretty good, chances are you are healthier in that you have very efficient systems. Now, that's not always the case. I know people that have single-digit body fat, 200 pounds of very, very well-defined muscle, a lot of vascularity. They have oodles and oodles of athletic ability, and yet they smoke 2 or 3 times a day. They maybe use some substances that they shouldn't be. I'm not going to say what kind of illicit drugs, but I've seen some really bad things in people that look and act and say they feel very healthy. So what I want you to do is look at health not as an excuse to say, well, at least I didn't make a worse choice or I made a defensible choice. Look at health as the tendency of look at health as your ability to be fit, and look at fitness as your ability to accomplish a task. Whether that's walking around for 30 minutes to an hour a day, doing your job every day, if it's running around playing with your kids, or if it's looking good in a two-piece bathing suit when you're out on the beach. Guys, I appreciate you listening to me stutter through this. I'm hyped up on this hashtag GainTZ. It's a supplement coming very, very soon to a gym near you. And I will talk to y'all on Thursday. Hopefully this hashtag GainTZ is worn off by then. We'll talk to you then.